Good morning, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving week to our U.S. listeners and to whoever else celebrates Thanksgiving around the world at this time. And happy harvest and happy lunar eclipse week and all those great things. So, if you have a moment, please like this, share this out, invite your friends to come and watch because we have a very special returning guest, and it just sort of lifts our heart every time we get to see Melissa. I don't know, every time I see her face I smile. Her inner beauty shines out and you can just feel that angelic love coming from her, and it's just the calming even presence. So I'd like to introduce our guest. And Melissa Virtue is a dancer, a channel, an alchemist of light. Melissa connects with star beings, angelic realms, guardians of the light to bring their messages of healing and love. Melissa is an author of 2 card decks, 3 books, and you can find Melissa's events in the links above. So thank you, Melissa, for joining us. And we are so happy to have you here today. And can you just update us on what's going on in your world right now and something new that you've been embarking on?
Yes, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here and a delight. I want to thank you for that, both of you. So I have been moving into working with children's families a lot with their dream time and helping children navigate this time, navigate the gifts that they have been bringing in and showing up with, where their parents are going, what is this? What's happening? And so working with children, working with their dream times, and also working with sacred movement for people. So I've began bringing in, a lot of people are talking about light language, and a lot of people are awakening to their light language and writing it, speaking it, drawing it. And this light language, which comes from the, that high frequency vibrational star systems, that are helping us, our light teams, our guardians of light, the angelic realms. And so it's been flowing from me, not only through speaking and writing, but movement. And so I've been bringing it in through movement. So I'm helping people dance light language, come into sacred movement again within themselves so they can merge that divine masculine feminine, so they can alchemize anything that arises for them and heal that so they can expand and embody their highest selves, their light path to help this ascension process for everyone, and this Pachamama that we gratefully and are custodians of. So
That's awesome. And what do you find? Like, do you find that children are needing that more, that support more? I know for this time.
I am finding that because parents are also, the parents are kind of, wibbly wobbling, and some of them are really bringing in this light and this energy. And it's just the children have this, and it's about the connection between the parents and the children, understanding what they're seeing and what the children are saying or experiencing, and the parents opening to that so they can communicate on a different level, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yes, children need support and feeling that they are embraced and understood, and that they can speak and express freely with what they're receiving and using their gifts. So no more sweeping that under or, kind of cloaking it at home. It's opening the heart, working from our heart center, and allowing children to see that and do that as well. There's no reason to hide.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I would imagine some parents are just so overwhelmed with this because this is the first time they've even experienced anything like this, and maybe their children are the gateway to the rest for them as well. Their children have come in to open them up, more or less.
Exactly. The children are, I call them the return of the children of light. Like they're coming back. Some of them have never incarnated here before on this particular beautiful planet. Some have, but they come in as a contract agreement with the parents to teach, as you're saying, to teach and help the parents awaken to their codes of light, to awaken to their gifts, their natural state of being, which is living love, and help open the parents' heart so everybody can come into that harmonious state of being and work from there. So yes, the children are coming in to help teach and awaken the parents as well.
Yes. I imagine it's so exciting, as Teresa says, Teresa's not with us today because she just wasn't feeling well enough today. But I'm hoping she can get some rest. But she's watching us, so she's absorbing this that way. But I find that maybe some parents are terrified by this. They don't understand it. And do you help smooth the parents' way along as well?
Yes, absolutely. So with the parents, what I usually do is I help them. We do a meditation and we go in and we call on their child's highest self. Okay, so we bring the child's highest self in, and we do a little bit of movement just to get the parents comfortable in their, what I call our temple of light. That's our body, right? Our energetic, our auric fields. So it's embodying and balancing all of it. And so I get them embodying that, open to that, opening their heart. And then we bring in the child's highest self to guide the parent through and to bring in any information, like the parent saying, I don't understand this, or I'm uncomfortable with this. And then it usually arises that there's something that the parent has been wounded by and is afraid of, whether it's speaking their true voice, whether it's they didn't recognize a gift that they had and they were shut down as a child by the patterning that their parents wove on top of them, or a blanket, if you will, they threw on top of the child. We don't say that. We don't speak about that. What is that? That's weird. And so the parents kind of turned everything down. We can't disconnect. That's just, we are living love and light. There's no disconnect from source, but we can certainly turn down our fields of light and bring it inside. And that's what some of the parents have done that are very afraid and don't understand what's going on. And so when we get in there in this, it's more of a journey than a meditation, I should say, a guided journey. When we get in there and we start doing the work, all of these things start arising. The parent remembers, oh, I had an experience at this point in time. I remember now. I remember speaking to an invisible friend. Now I see that friend, when I'm looking at it right now and talking with you, they are beautiful golden light. And suddenly they recognize that friend as Yeshua or Mother Mary or, their angelic guide. And so we start peeling away these layers so the parents can then begin to remember and connect with that child's gifts and realize I'm not really different. I am also the same. I just forgot because I was scared. I was told not to speak of this. And I was afraid of what people would think because of reputation or what my parents said, or because they were verbally or physically abused by it.
Do you find that society also tends to be afraid of these children because they're not falling into societal norms, right? So they try to label them, right, as having, social disorders and, things like that. And
Yes.
that the movement actually helps them to find better ways to express themselves where the parents don't need to seek medical, diagnosis.
Yes, exactly. So society is afraid because, it's about control. There are people, leaders, that want to control. So there's no creative outbreak and outbreak, right? This opening up, this blossoming up and realization that, wait a minute, we are very powerful. We're the masters we've been waiting for, and these children have come to remind us of this, to bring this light, to seed it, to plant it and anchor it, right? And so it scares those people who are trying to hang on to the control, and they want everybody to conform. They want everybody to, follow their plan because of greed or, and it really goes back to fear and wounding, It all goes back to fear and wounding. And I'm going to even say it goes back to Atlantean times when there was that breakoff, the people that wanted the power and control and decided they wanted to rule the worlds, plural. And so, when all of that happened, there were contractual agreements with children and the other souls saying, we're going to come back in and this patterning is going to stop. We're going to arise again and bring the light in, and Pachamama and all of this happened. But so these children are saying, no more, we're here. And they know that they're the bringers of light. So it gets scary for the people who want to control because they know that it's done and it's falling apart. And so they do want to medicate children to, and my opinion and the information I receive is so it dulls their senses. It dulls their connection. It turns it down. And that's what fear does too to parents. It dulls our senses and turns everything down. And so these children, really it's about expression. They need to find their unique expression and be allowed to express and hone that, you know. And so people are afraid of unknown sometimes, right?
I think we're learning more and more not to be afraid of unknown because everything is unknown all the time now, and we just can't exist that way in fear anymore.
No.
It's kind of like, okay, enough. We don't know what's coming. Let's just go with it.
It's exciting because when we set our attention and hold that light, you watch children, and when they have the whole day ahead of them, and they're like, what am I going to create today? What am I going to imagine? Because that'll create. My son likes to say the term, am I making create?
Aww.
You know, and I'm like, yes, if you feel that way and you know, set that. It's so there you see them and you see them blossoming in their mind. That moves out into the world. So if we just start our day with that intention of what do I get to make today and create, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. It's very exciting because, you know, as the parents are working with the children, helping them to, you know, holding space for their own creative, it opens up their inner child more and more and more. And so they're really tapping into their creativity and they learn how to play again. You know, that's the exciting part too, is like as adults, a lot of us have forgotten how to play, how to just have fun and not take everything so seriously.
Exactly. And so, and helping children also because they can take on, when you're talking about play, you know, we can use play for healing purposes. So when a child is laughing, it's hard not to laugh too. And that raises our vibration. And so that's moving through us, right? That vibrational movement, that laughter is vibration. And so when we begin to dance with a child or play music with a child or, you know, be silly, it shifts our perspective because it's raising our vibration, our frequency. And in that moment, it can change everything. It can change our reality around us because things happen so quickly now, if you've noticed.
Yes.
And time is so fast. And so helping children also remember that play if they get, because they can take on our feelings and our energy like little sponges. And if they get upset, because some of these children are very sensitive to others' energies and what's going on in the world, even if they're not involved in it, they've been shielded from it, they can still feel it. They're so expansive. They know it and they can hear our minds. They have telepathy. They can see the imagery in our minds. They can feel our hearts. There's no hiding from them, no cloaking. And so one way for us to help them, if we see that happening, is through dance and movement, like you said, moving. And my son was very upset the other day, and I said, okay, let's stop, drop, and roll. And he was like, boy, go. We stopped what we were doing, and he just took off with that rolling.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
But if you do it as a parent too, you have to do it with them.
Right.
It brings that out, right? That magical child that's like, right. That's who we are at our core, is that creative being of light.
Yeah, it's incredible. I remember my son, my oldest, who's now 21, was about just over a year and a half old when 9/11 happened. And of course, that was such an intense day for all of us, right? It was just such an intense day. And of course, we were watching it on TV. It was my mom and I, and we were watching it, and he was in his playpen. And he's, you know, our emotions, of course, are huge because it's just, you know, so devastating. And George Bush pops up on the screen, and a year and a half old, and he's going, okay, patting himself in the heart space. Okay, never seen him do it before. And he just started soothing himself. And it was just like the most incredible thing, like watching him just develop his own, like something didn't feel right to him. And he was, you know, finding a way to calm himself down and be okay. And, you know, it definitely got our attention, and we turned off the TV and we're like, okay, that's enough. Like, but they're so sensitive. And he was born a Reiki baby because I got my second tumor when I was pregnant with him. So he was like glowing. So he was very sensitive, very, very interesting indigo energy as well, which has been fun to watch him grow into his own. But yeah, it's just, amazing to watch them learn how to express themselves in those unique ways that we're not used to, because it's important that the way that we have to understand the way things have been aren't the way that things really are supposed to be. We've kind of allowed us, to get stuck in those patterns of behavior and the ancestral things as well, right?
Exactly. That ancestral healing that needs to happen. And that's what these children are bringing as well.
Yeah.
As that healing. And like you said, he was patting his heart. That's beautiful. Heart healing is what I hear when you were saying that. And that's what they're bringing, the heart healing. And if we watch them, they mirror and reflect everything back that they're feeling, seeing, knowing, remembering. And it helps us attune to that and know what to do. The answer's right there. They're showing us. And so that heart healing, that's really beautiful. Yeah.
It is. So how can we develop more sacred movement in our own lives? Even though we may not have young children, like my children are all older now, but it's so important just for our relationships with ourselves too, that we learn how to flow our energy without, because it gets stuck, right? If we don't move it, it's going to get stuck. So how can we bring that into our lives more?
Yeah. So, along those lines, it's important to move every day. So for us to move every day, and everybody has a different way of moving, right? We're all unique expressions of the divine. And so I personally have been hearing the information coming in as, allowing yourself to move. So yoga's great, walking's great, running's great, whatever that kind of movement is for you is great, but also getting into your body, really grounding into this temple of light and moving just your body. So really holding that space. If it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you can work up to 30 minutes a day and you do 15 at night or 15 in the morning, whatever works for you, but allow yourself to feel the rhythms of the earth, to feel the rhythms of the sky. It helps people if they get outside to do that. If you're also, what I tell people that are new to it, if you want to do it in a dark space, that can represent the womb, the creation. And then you don't feel like anybody's watching you and you're not looking at yourself, you're not seeing your body, but you also move intuitively, just allow yourself to put on some music and move. I really think breath is important, taking a few deep breaths and then just intentionally, I like to place my hands on my heart before I began any kind of movement and just say, I now embody my heart, my higher heart, my connecting to the cosmic heart. And I ask the divine to flow through me, because what happens is you might sway, and you might have this feeling of just wanting to hum or have something come up and out. But usually if we're not used to moving in our bodies, we feel really uncomfortable because the bodily expression, if you look at people, they might have their shoulders hunched up or their back rounded because they're trying to protect themselves from the energies, right?
Me too.
Right? And so when we roll our shoulders back and open our heart, it actually is our most protective quality, our protective light we have, is keeping the heart open. And when we do this, we feel this inhale of energy. We connect to everything around us, our teams of light, our highest self. We're really open. We can feel it better, I should say, because we're never disconnected. We can feel it better. And so to begin with that and touching your heart, maybe one hand on the heart, one on the low pelvis right there on the stomach area, wherever feels right. Getting comfortable with your body, tactile touching that area. Inhaling and just allowing yourself to sway back and forth, allowing yourself to inhale and exhale. Do you want me to take you through some movement?
Yes, please.
Okay. So let's just for a moment here, take a nice inhale and feel your breath dancing as if it was golden light moving through your body. You might sense a rainbow light. And just allow yourself to sway back and forth. You can close your eyes. You can veil your eyes to the ground. Whatever works for you. And we connect and call on our teams of light. We call upon the divine to flow through us for our highest good in the way that we need to feel, see, know, hear, and remember. We feel our earth star below our feet and roots growing down. Since we're sitting right now, maybe you at home are sitting or standing, you can feel those beautiful silver roots growing down into the ground, down, connecting to hollow earth, connecting with Pachamama. Keep your breath dancing as you inhale and exhale. Feel the nourishment rising from the earth, that vibration, the radiance of the Kundalini vibrating up through those roots, up all the way into your base, and going further up, your sacral. And feel it rising in your column of light all the way into your heart. It's shimmering, it's shimming. And as you move, however you feel, quickly or slowly, however you might feel your movement shifting, as this light inside vibrates, you can feel the top of your head, a beautiful rose descending. Notice the color of that rose as it comes down through your crown, down into your head, third eye, throat chakra, opening that creative expression, that beauty of your true voice, your truth, your unique expression. As it merges in your heart, and feel a beautiful rainbow light begin to shine down from those celestial realms down into your crown, down through your column of light, through all of your chakras, down into your earth star, filling that with light. And placing both hands on the heart, you might want to touch your heart and then press your hands outwardly, and then bring your hands into your heart as if you're shining that light out, bringing in the light and shining it out. Whatever you feel guided to do. Maybe you want to lift the light all the way through your chakras, starting at the base of the spine, having your hands hovering above each one. And like a beautiful font of light, it comes out through the crown. And you may see symbols, you may see vibration, you may hear words, you may just have a sensation. I can feel some people in the audience want to bow and arrow out, bring it into the heart, setting your intention, and bow and arrow that out, pressing it out. Intention, bringing it in and pressing it out. Onto that. Both hands on the heart. Knowing that you are always connected. You are truth, living love, living light. And everywhere you walk, everywhere you move, you're seeding that light into the earth, into her beautiful gridding. Taking one more inhale and exhale. And anchoring that light down into the earth. And you can open your eyes if you have them closed. So yeah, we just, sometimes we do a lot of hip movement to get the lower base of the spine moving, you know, shimmying the hips around, moving the pelvis back and forth, rolling the shoulders to break up any blockages in the heart space. You know, some people intone when they're moving around, we get stuck here. And so breathing externally, audibly, helps us get that up and out. So
That was very soothing.
Yeah.
I like that. And now I'm nice and warm. I was a little cold before, but now I'm warm.
Yeah, right. We get
Feels
that
good.
energy rising,
Warm.
vibrating the hands.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you. You know, it's funny because like I love dancing like in my own space. I try to do that for exercise because I always think of exercise as like a chore. Like it's just
Right.
I have a hard time pushing through that and being like, I'm gonna sit ups and push ups. Those aren't fun. Like,
Right.
it's not fun. So I try to do like dancing to like work on toning my midsection and you know like just things like that. But I found that I've even been struggling with that lately. So it's like I really need to get back in tune with my body. Like the energy is just kind of put me on rest mode a lot. And I feel that if I get back in touch with my body, maybe I won't need so much rest because I'm not energizing myself enough. So thank you for that reminder.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, it moves and shifts, it burns off anything we've been feeling, our emotions. But to do that and to really, you know, start with the base of your spine and moving that, and you said midsection. So if you make a figure 8.
I was doing that. I was doing it with my top though. But it's funny because I find myself going into that motion naturally.
Yes,
It's so funny.
The figure 8, because this is infinity. This is the tree of life. It's the double, it's the caduceus, right? The masculine feminine union of the two snakes intertwining within our column of light. And so when we raise that kundalini, which is what that is, and that Shakti, it starts burning off and things may arise, right? That we see that we need to release and let go of, alchemize, create more space. So I love that you do that. And you just,
that's so funny.
And so
you
that'll work
you're doing.
section. Doing the circles with the pelvis one way, then the other way. And anything, a lot of people, sometimes they find themselves crying after they've done a lot of hip circling because we hold so much in our womb right there, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I know that people who get really depressed stop moving. And I don't know if it's because they stop moving that they get depressed.
Right.
Or the depression makes them stop moving. But one of the best ways, it's just start moving to get out of that hole that's been, that you feel like you've fallen into. Even if it's just walking and then moving outside or dancing in the dark outside under the stars. Where nobody can see you. And you've got, you know.
Unless you have neighbors.
Well, then you can go in a closet or in your room.
Closet.
Well, sometimes people feel like if they're in a closet, they're cocooning and they're allowing themselves to do what they need to, like that caterpillar, you know, that chrysalis, and then coming out. And they feel, so when you go into a closet or into a room and you do this movement, you can even do it by shaking your hands. You know, if you shake your hands up and down, you can feel when you stop the vibration. And the light shift, right? In your hands. So it's the same with the pelvis. It's the same with the shoulders when we shimmy. It's the same with the rib cage or when we, I know, I'm being like, but it really,
I love it.
Home, it really gets it going.
Yeah.
You feel that vibration. But then you open the door when you feel like you've completed. And I always like to complete raising my arms up, bringing them in, giving gratitude and thanks to all that is, and that I'm connected to all, Pachamama, all of my light teams. Thank you. Open the door, walk out, and you're crossing a threshold. You're reborn, right? You're that butterfly from the chrysalis.
Wow.
And it can be a really powerful initiation or transmutation, alchemization for people.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, I love
Even
that.
your closet is like this big. In New York, my closet was very small. Whatever you might want to do.
I remember when my daughter was a teenager, young, she used to go out at night, just at dusk, because she was afraid of the dark. And she'd dance up and down our laneway. And if you went out, she'd yell at you because you're not supposed to see me do this. But she'd be dancing up and down. She'd have her earbuds in her, you know, iPod and listening to music and dancing. And I'm sure that's the way she relieved a lot of her stress and, you know, angst of being a teenager. And, you know, that really helped her a lot. And and I think she still does it, but I haven't asked her lately. But it's a good way to.
I think about Footloose. Do you remember? And that one part where it's just like, you know, and I don't know if you've ever seen Flight of the Conchords, which I love. So Bert's angry dance. And so, you know, if people feel that angst or stress, that's the time to just, whatever comes out of your body, intuitively let it go, you know, have the angels, your team there, call them in first so they can transmute that energy, even spinning around the whirling dervishes. They spin around to fling off. And that's what my son and I will spin around to fling off anything that's upsetting us. We ask the angels to take that and transmute it. And, then you come back to center and you say, thank you. And then you do movement that feels good, bring it in the light, moving around.
Spinning is one of the other ways. And I know there's a lot of children that instinctively spin or they wind themselves up on the swings and spin or they start spinning on the floor, even when they're babies, they spin on their bottom.
It balances the chakra system. It brings us back to union. It aligns us, realigns us. Watch them get on a swing and spin.
Yeah.
I used to do it. Nah, my ears won't take it now. But I can see how that probably did. Cleared up things instinctively. Yeah. I know there's lots of young kids that like to spin, and you're going, oh, you're going to make me sick. But they need it.
They do.
Then they know. So it's interesting.
And like your daughter dancing with her earbuds, she was going within, right? And just letting herself, like you said, express. And that shows you that's a good thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. And it's still full moon energy right now, so we could go out and dance under the moonlight, get that out. I mean, it's the perfect time to get all that stuff out, shake it out, spin it out, whatever you need to do.
My mentor used to say, shake the darkness away before we started dance class when I was in New York. We'd have to lay on the ground and just shake everything out. So as you said, if you want to go out there in the moonlight and do that, that'd be really helpful.
So much better.
I think I'll light the bonfire and do that.
Dance around the fire. It's a little too cold to dance naked, but that's okay. You can have skin clothes on.
It's too cold to go naked, honestly.
You'll warm up from the fire and the movement. It's okay.
And speaking of that, I think that's why people have a thing about their bodies, about dancing, right? They say, I'm not a dancer. I don't move. Because we've been told, don't show that part of your body. Don't wear that dress that's down here, and all this patterning about shame or guilt or, our bodies are beautiful. They're divine, they're our temples. So it's about love. And so it's time to repattern that.
Awesome.
You're all beautiful.
That's so cool. So you're developing a child's deck right now, or have you developed it?
Yes. Well, it's at the printer's ready to print any day now.
Awesome.
I'm so excited. Thank you. It's a children's deck for dream time, for bedtime, because a lot of people have been struggling with nightmares for their children, all ages, and also beings coming into the children's rooms because there's such bright lights that they attract. I mean, we do when our lights are turning up. We might all be having some experiences of the shadowier things coming in, right? But to help children, my artist, Noelle Swenson, she's amazing, and she put in some color therapy with her artistry. So there's color therapy in the deck. We also embedded light language within it, in some of them, and they all speak to the children, each child on a different level. But they're affirmations that you can use. The child can draw a card, 45 cards in the deck, and they can focus on one right as they're going to bed. You can make a story of it. You can do a meditation with it. Children, again, they kind of know what to do, but I kept hearing this and felt like we needed to bring in a deck for bedtime. So it's bringing in the good, energies that need to come, helping the children feel safe, supported, cocooned, and opened in their heart space.
Sounds like a good deck for some adults I know too.
Absolutely.
Sure, absolutely.
I think that's funny you should mention like beings that always came in, because when my son was young, almost every night he'd call in, Mom, there's someone in my room. Mom, there's someone in my room. And it was like, what is this? I said, sometimes I almost see the flash of someone in his room. And so, I wished I got some tools later on, but at the time, it He's the only kid who once he moved out and moved in with his girlfriend, said, "Mom, someone was in my room again." I said, "Well, you're going to have to deal with that now, son. I can't do it.
Mhm.
You're going to have to tell it to go away or
Mhm.
leave
Yeah,
you alone."
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are so many things that we can do for this because, yeah, that can be really interesting with if parents aren't aware. Because I had some family members, their daughter was saying, "There's this lady who's sitting in my chair," and it was waking her up. The lady was waking her up, and they were like, "No, there's nobody here." But see, that makes a child turn down or close down. I feel like that they aren't believed, and that can be detrimental. We can undo that, of course, but allowing a child to tell us. So I bow to you for talking to him about that, because allowing a child to express themselves. There could be a portal in the room. The child needs to learn to know that they're in control of that.
Mm-hmm.
They can say, "No, thank you. You're not invited.
Mhm.
I send blessings to you and I see you in compassion, but I'm not afraid. And you're not welcome." And there are all kinds of sacred geometry we can do set up in the room, as you ladies probably know.
Yeah.
All the sacred geometry, the crystals, the light.
Gritting underneath, and just bringing chimes in to chime,
Yes.
pull the energy and clear up the energy, and
But
all
teaching
sorts
the
of
child,
things. That you just need to bring your ting shays, or to break up that energy and.
And
I gridded my daughters with amethyst around her bed, like all 4 posts area, like under the bed. I gridded that, so that seems to help a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But and did she grid with you? Like, she helped?
She didn't, because she's like, okay, you can do it, but not really wholeheartedly, like, because she's 13. So she's kind of in the in-between of like, it's kind of cool, but I'm not sure. And if other people say it's cool, then it's really cool. But if you say it's cool, it's not really cool, kind of thing, because I'm mom. So she was okay and accepting of it. And I let her know, like, this is going to help. Like, this, this will help you not have bad dreams. And it's definitely lessened them. They're not completely gone, but the period between them has been like the longest it's ever been. So it's definitely helping. And I think that we forget they're there too. So, it's also, the cats reminded us, because we found one in the middle of her bedroom because they like to bat them around. So,
right.
The cats are having fun with them.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Giving the children, I think it's wonderful that you were teaching her that too. But giving the children the power, empowering them to design the room, create the room, say, you can do this. What would you like to do to help that being? Also talking to the beings,
Oh yeah.
allowing the children to talk to the beings or see you do it if they're not sure how, and say, "I send you love and compassion. Thank you for visiting, but you're not welcome here. There's no invitation." The monster sprays that people are coming out with, I think that just perpetuates the issue.
Right.
That says, yes, there are monsters here.
Right.
Instead of saying they're just beings that they're afraid to work in their heart space.
Right.
They're just attracted by your light, like the moths outside.
Yeah.
Not really harmful. They see the light, they are attracted to your light, and they're drawn. So
they want to play. They want to,
Just shoot
my
them
son,
away.
when he was younger, wouldn't go to sleep without angel spray first. He had to spray his room and him with angel spray, and then he would be able to sleep fine. But it's funny because he asked for it. He would ask for it every night. And so instead of the monster spray, shifting it to angel spray, maybe, or something like that, because then it brings in the protective energy and helps them feel safe. And the smell knocks them right out too. So.
And that's the other thing, aromatherapy.
Yeah.
Great to make a dream pillow for them where they can hold it and smell it with dried herbs in it, or you have an aromatherapy that's doing that all night. Or
I'm making little dream pillows with mugwort that I've grown in my garden in lavender. So
I love that.
Yeah, I've got mugwort. Yeah. So I grow mugwort for it. Hang it up. Make little sachets.
And subconsciously, children will know that. Like, whoever you give those dream pillows, even we do subconsciously, if we can feel them somewhere in our bed, we know they're there. And it reminds us, it's like a totem. It reminds us, all is well. we're safe and protected. We can
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, I love that. And like we have a local crystal store that I love to go to, and they have, essential oils as well. And so I brought my daughter recently, and I let her pick out essential oil that she was drawn to, something that and of course it ended up being exactly what she needed without knowing, just like the crystals that she picked out. But they know, they can tune in. I mean, just like we do when we do intuitive shopping, which that's how I prefer to shop because it's much more fun. But, it's being able just to tune into, okay, what do I need right now? What's going to serve me best right now? And giving them that power to trust themselves.
But you're doing that by showing her, by you practicing that.
Right.
That's a beautiful gift to give. It's by us practicing that. So we're doing a symbiotic dance, right?
Yeah.
With our children. They're showing us and we're showing them. And so
it's fun. It's a fun thing to watch them grow into, to be able to have those abilities. And, it's beautiful to be able to support them that way, as much as, maybe the schooling systems and society hasn't been so supportive at home. Even if you feel like you're really challenged with that, having to help your child be able to overcome those standards, right? Giving them that place to really expand that and express that at home will make it so that they can go out in the world and feel much stronger.
Yes, exactly. Rhythm is really important for children, that they have, like, their home, as you said, it's their sacred space. This is where they gain their confidence, by their guardians, which we term parents, right? But that could be grandparents. I mean, everybody around the child is a guardian in some aspect. And so having a rhythm that they can expect at least a couple, on Monday, they can expect at least this one thing to happen, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. So having this rhythm, maybe the bedtime rhythm's the same every night, the morning rhythm, this really creates that confidence and that groundedness at home. And that's where it all begins, right? At that home rhythm. And so there were some people trying to figure out why there were night terrors happening, and with adults and children. And with some of the adults, we discovered, a couple of other people as we were talking about it, that it had to do with spiritual grounding. And that doesn't mean religious. It means what spiritual groundedness do you have at home? What do you practice? What do you believe in? What are you intending? What is it that you do at home? What is your grounding there? And they were like, oh, I guess we don't really have one. I don't really have one. I kind of just, whatever comes in and out. And so once they established a rhythm for themselves, the adults, they started feeling like, oh, wow, those night terrors started waning off, and then we're gone completely. And it was interesting to see that, because psychologists that do dream work, they have a little bit different view of it. And so, for the children, the same.
So where will we be able to find your deck, and what's it called, so we can look for it? I'm sorry.
My deck. Is that what you said?
Yeah, because I'm still stuck in it. What a great idea! This could be part of the practice,
AWWBEAR. It's AWWBEAR.com. AWBEAR. It's our Etsy shop right now. Soon you'll be able to find it at MelissaVirtue.com. That'll take you right there as well. And it'll be in shops, other places too, that I'll have listed up for everyone. But yeah, MelissaVirtue.com might be the easiest place to find it. Yeah.
Awesome. Very exciting.
Maybe for Christmas, or is it going to be a little later than Christmas?
We're hoping to have it ready so we can get it out for Christmas.
That's awesome.
For people.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, so Bex, you've got some other questions for Melissa. Oh, somebody's put it. AWWBEAR. Is that it? Is that
AWW Bear.
AWW Bear. Okay.
Like Bear. Yeah, it's a saying.
That's very cute. Bear. I love that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have 3 questions for you if you're ready for them.
Yes.
Okay. First question is, if you had to choose a song to be the theme song of your life, what would it be?
Unstoppable Joy.
Unstoppable
Ask
Joy.
me in my 20s, I would have said something U2, I'm sure. But Unstoppable Joy.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The second question is, what is your favorite crystal that you're working with right now?
I'm going to say, I was going to say something different, but I work with a couple of them. It would have to be selenite because it's about expansion and it expands all the other crystals around. It brushes off our auric fields. It's soft, the soft stone, and you have to be gentle and graceful. Reminds me to be that way with myself, So yeah, I love selenite.
Perfect. I have it all around me all the time.
All the time.
I have towers.
Oh my
towers
God.
in my living room, like to kind of like both sides. When people walk in, their energy's cleared as they enter because I'm just so, I gridded my house. I have selenite and black tourmaline in every corner.
Rock and roll.
I'm very like energy. This is my space.
Yes, it is. All right.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love working with selenite. So it's very good choice. And I love that it's the feminine, very feminine energy.
It is. It is.
And very like it's so filled with light. It's just very like when you see it, it's very bright and like moonlight. Of course. So which I love that. So beautiful choice. Okay, third question. Have you ever experienced extra-dimensional intelligence?
Yes. So awake and asleep. And I think a lot of people will kind of brush away the asleep time. But yes, asleep, it was very real. It was like I was awake. And in fact, when I woke up, I was very surprised. But they were mathematical equations they were giving me. I'm a math nerd. Nobody knows that. So they were giving me these mathematical equations and numbers. And they were doing it. Do you remember a Simon Says or Simon Speak? I don't remember.
Yes. Was that the thing that had like the
lights? And
yes.
Or, right. Encounters that.
Close Encounters of the First. When they were.
I remember that.
It was like this. This is what I had in my dream. And there was a lot of orange and red and some other colors in there with numbers coming out. And then so I've had several dreams like this, where they were encoding some information. And then last year or 2 years ago and last year and just 2 weeks ago, I see ships in the sky. And they're different shapes and colors, which is interesting, with what's coming in with them, like, Pleiadian, the Arcturian energies, and they're really high vibrating. So sometimes, I just find myself that I'm not really expecting that. And I happen to be looking up and I'm like, oh my goodness. But once I had a couple of people with me, and that was a year ago, and they were trying to take pictures of it, but nothing was coming out.
No kidding, or you don't have it with you. So.
But my son noticed it first, I was like,
that's awesome.
Spaceships. Yeah, of course. But yes. And so, but I have had some beings visit and give information, full-bodied. It was really interesting. Most of the time it's just light and I hear that, but one time it was a full body encounter. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, we had a guest on a few weeks ago, Barry Littleton.
2 weeks ago,
he was talking about, because you see them so often, every time you see them, it's not a coincidence that you're seeing them. It's that they're passing along like information to you, just downloading information to you just by looking at them and thinking, wow.
Yeah, the ships, yeah. And I love that you mentioned the dreams too, because that was a big thing for me, is I have them in dreams, but not so much in waking life, except for seeing ships once in a great while. And so he confirmed that as well. And then you just brought it up again. So it's, dreams are just as important and just as valid, that you may not be seeing them in your waking life, but in your dream life, you're having experiences, and those are real.
They are. Thank you for stressing that point. They are real, and I hope that people that are having dreams out there, I've had a lot of questions like that too. They are real. You are experiencing that, because in dream time, it's not our mind creating things. We are moving timelines, dimensional worlds and spaces, and they are visiting and bringing that, because we can move the conscious mind out of the way and accept and receive. And so that's where you're going to receive that information. They're coming. Yeah.
They're
So
here.
beautiful. They are. They're here.
They're here.
And
Mhm.
Rhonda loves, like, she, this year, this season of our show, she was like, we're going to ask this question. And I was like, okay. And we found that every single person has said yes.
Mhm.
Everybody. And it's like, at this point, you can't deny that this is happening. This is here. They've been here. It's just a matter of our awareness expanding so that we can allow ourselves to have more experiences and allow ourselves to be in communication and to receive all the gifts they have for us.
Exactly. A lot of the star systems seeded this planet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And a lot of cultures have that in their history, and they talk about it. The elders will talk about it. And
Yeah.
so we are that. We are part of that.
Mhm.
We've all lived on different planets and places
Mhm.
and different star systems and have been to probably all of them,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. This place is a hard school of hard knocks, and I mean, a lot of times, like we've decided to come to this extreme world of hard
Yes.
spaces to
master
learn really big lessons. And
Mhm.
I always said, like other people have said, I said my aunt graduated with honors, so
Mhm.
that's what I said. She's
Yes.
just graduated with honors, so on to the next adventure. So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's what I think this world's about. It's here, it's school, and when we
Big
go,
lessons.
we graduate. It's
Yeah.
a hard school. We're not here. It's not for wimps.
No, and not at all, right? And I think that we've come here this time to all of us to help with the ascension process.
Yeah.
And that's to master our
Mhm.
master lifetimes here.
Mhm.
Let's go.
So
And
yeah.
movement's one good way to just
Yes.
break up the vibe of the whole place around you, right? Just when you vibe up, everybody vibes up.
Mhm.
I guess that's the one way to say it, right?
Dance
That's
party.
it. Yeah, because when you are when we're walking in a crowd of people, or we're just walking down our street, or if you're walking in, you live in the countryside, your energy is it's vibrating out, it's emanating out to everybody, and we're huge. We're bigger than what we think we are. So our energy and our light, our vibrational light, is just going out to everybody, and every step we take, we are truly seeding light into the earth, and then that goes along her grids, right? And touches all those different places and beings, plants, animals, the food we intake, what we're growing. It's in the air. It makes electricity and vibration out in the air. That's why we can communicate this way too, right? Telepathically.
It's so cool. Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you so much. This has been such an awesome experience today, and I definitely needed it. So I am so grateful that you were able to show up and share this with us.
And we'd love to have you back again when you have your
Yes.
deck in your hands, and we can talk about that again as well, because we'd love to see it.
Yes, we like showing you off and hanging out with you. It's fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, so much. It's an honor and a delight. Like I said, I've been so excited. Thank you.
Yes, well, we'll definitely have you back again. So
Yeah, and Teresa sends her regrets, but
Yes.
she's watching. So
she is.
Yeah, we'll send her that healing.
Yes, absolutely. I just have a couple announcements real quick before we close out for today. The winners, we have 2 winners to announce because last week, Teresa and we made it through the show. That was our big accomplishment. So
I
we saved.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, we love you, Rhonda, and anytime you need to take, we understand. The winner of the first share it out with Teresa, one with Teresa, is Robin Quarles. So congratulations, Robin. Teresa will reach out and get that set up. And last week's share it out winner, one with Rhonda, and that's Linda Love.
Hey, Linda.
So congratulations. Whoever shares out this week will win with me. So we'll announce that winner next week. And we love you guys so much. Have a beautiful, blessed week, and happy Thanksgiving to all those who celebrate this week.
Yeah,
So
and
excited
safe
for
travels, everyone, on the road,
Yes.
because I know it's a big week for people on the road. It's the most traveled time of the year, isn't it?
It
So I'd
is.
like that. Thank you so much again, and we'll say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.